The fucking death of me. Go away, Grubhub. Fuck you.
Dun, 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 dun. Live, coming from a studio in Fitchburg, Massachusetts, and somewhere in the random leagues, it's People Without Pants.
Yes, it is. Okay. Where's my thing? Here we are.
Where's my snare?
A bobbada boopy.
Where's my snare? There's no snare in my headphones.
Oh, I don't know what. Okay.
Oh, that's just an old Eminem joke.
All right. I am going to send this to me father because he is available right now and he can tell us if our sound is working and all that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, good, and it shows up on screen. Test stream link. I'll send it to my mom as well in case she's available, even though I don't think she is right now.
So you heard about them trying to make all these comic book characters woke nowadays? Trying to
Yeah.
appeal to all these Zoomers.
Yeah, remember back in the good old days when comics weren't political, I say, as I look at my poster of Captain America punching Hitler?
Oh man, those were the times.
You can't see it obviously because it's not on camera, but
no, that's beautiful. I was just thinking on how they're trying to rename Spider-Man. Apparently they're trying to call him Kilometers Morales.
this is the face of a broken man.
Okay.
This is the face of a broken fucking man. Why is my chair making so much goddamn noise?
This is the face of Spider-Man.
At my age, I can't handle the responsibility of being a Spider-Man.
I don't understand how we can be knocking out actual good Spider-Man movies and Marvel as a whole company doesn't know how to use the fucking product yet.
Yeah.
Spider-Man is not Iron Man's Robin. We have enough of that.
Yeah, they made it work passably, but I agree. I like Spider-Man as a more independent hero.
The main thing I question, I used to give a lot of shit, and I was like, this isn't gonna work. And now at this point, I still give shit, and I don't think it can work anymore. If you had to pull in other timelines just to give your Peter Parker trauma, how are you even making it work?
Yeah.
Your like world is built to not grow Spider-Man in the way the Spider-Man needs to grow. Your world is made to fucking pat him on the head, tell him he's a good boy.
You are 100% correct, but we got a movie I liked out of it, so I accept it.
Okay, I mean, which one?
Well, all of them, but No Way Home was the one I was referring to. Give me 1 sec while I call my dad because he's a dummy and he probably didn't check his email.
Take your time. I don't check my email like that.
Well, he has 2 monitors, so it should be open still.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Hey, I sent you the link. Can you log on and make sure it all sounds and looks good? Email, yeah. Should just be called Test Stream Link. All right. And there's a chat thing on the side. You can type in there to let us know how it looks and sounds. If it isn't playing already, then yes. All right, I'm hanging up now. He's 200 years old, so hopefully he'll figure out what to do.
I mean, it's better than my old man. Like, he types like this. He just got a smartphone like this year, and so like he does all those boomer things where he's so late to the game, but then he'll get like so deep in the rabbit hole, but like not shut the fuck up about it.
Yeah.
Like, no, dude, I don't want to see the random YouTube videos that you now have access to because you fucking finally got out of the 90s.
Yeah, my dad only wound up getting a smartphone. So my mom got one for business reasons before either of us did. And my dad, and by extension me, we had flip phones till like 2013. And what finally got us to get smartphones was that the hinge on my flip phone broke. So I finally needed a new phone for the first time in like 5 years. And I was like, well, there's no point in getting an. Well, I mean, it's not like he was opposed to smartphones. He just didn't want to spend the money on a new phone when the previous ones worked.
All I know is every time a boomer says the words "dumb phone" to me, my soul dies a little.
I haven't heard that one in a while, but I do remember hearing it.
Oh god, I've heard it more than I should.
Okay, the fact that he responded to my insult implies that he can hear us just fine. Though that did not show up on the studio, but I guess that's fine. I don't want private chat. Where?
From the 62, man.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. Okay, now it's showing up. Butts. I did not even spell butts correctly, but that is just fine.
Yo, why can't you spell? Do better.
I tried to double tap the T, and I guess I don't have the coordination in my fingers. Okay, is there a way to send a test donation? How do I do that? Also, it's good to know that there's a private chat just between us, and then there's the comments. Create a banner. No, I guess that's not how that works. Let's find out. Why am I wondering when my sadness box will tell me? StreamYard, how to do test donation. Is there not? Come on, man. I know there's a test button somewhere. Where are you? Where are you, you son of a bitch?
Son of a bitch, I'm in.
Oh God, the number of times I've heard that in an action movie or whatever.
You son of a bitch, I'm in. Like, that's why, as much as I part of me sometimes hates Rick and Morty, and part of me is like, God damn it, these motherfuckers are really funny, though.
Yeah, you're completely correct, and I say that as a Rick and Morty simp.
Like I like it. So sometimes I'm just like, this fucking show, man. So where the
super chat? How do I do that? Okay. Let's see if I can do this easily while I'm on here and I don't have to come back to it later. Not that that's the biggest deal in the world because I'll survive, but
it's
YouTube,
always easier.
YouTube Studio. Okay. Show me what you got. I want to see what you got.
Show me what you got.
It's easy to make fun of Rick and Morty, but goddamn it, does that line live rent-free in my head.
Show me what you got.
Let me out. Let me out. This is not a dance. I'm begging for help. I'm screaming for help. Please don't let me out.
I don't know. I'm still partial to later in the episode. Listen to the Elliott Smith. Listen how life is worthless. No, he was so young. Feel it. Feel his hopelessness. So okay. I just opened up my my file thing here.
Yeah.
I found a random bag of cheddar fries that I had.
Just like in your drawer?
Yeah, so like straight up like where I keep my files. Just a whole ass bag of cheddar fries.
Okay, so I guess for super chat specifically, we need some eligibility shit that I'm not gonna worry about just now. So I guess I'll worry about that shit later. Because you have to have like minimum number of subscribers and uploads in the last 90 days and all that.
True. Let me also try something.
Okay.
I'm just gonna hook up my other camera. Tell me which one looks better. Okay, Larry.
Yes.
I just want you to read the comments.
Uncle Ruckus's audio is fine. Wait, Larry's video looks good except for his skin, which is a little overexposed, probably because of the light from the window. My audio looks fine. Yes, thank you, Dad. And then Uncle Ruckus's audio is fine, but the video of his body is a little fuzzy compared to Larry's. The background video is overexposed in general due to the lighting in the room.
True.
That is true. We can fix those things, though.
True.
And you're plugging in another camera at the moment, right, Nick?
Yep. I'm plugging in my second camera right now to see how that one works for us.
Okay. Do you have a microphone, by the way?
I don't have like a wireless mic, but what I could do is I could throw on a pair of my headphones. I have like one of those like speaking mics for like gaming.
That might be better.
Yeah, I can.
So, if not,
thank you so much.
Oh yeah, I think he doesn't remember your real name, but yes, you have awesome fucking hair.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. I love my hair, but you guys are sweet. No, but the Uncle Ruckus is my real name. What do you mean?
Yeah, I know, no relation. Let me find out how much did I pay for the microphone I have, because it was not much. Order details. Okay, but how much was just that? Because most of the order was the other shit I bought.
All right, Larry, this is the other one.
Is it easy to switch between the two?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Could you do that for a sec so I can watch the change?
All right, this is one. This is the other.
And this is the built-in one, right?
Yep. So this is the external.
Okay.
And then this one's the built-in.
External's probably better.
That's what I was thinking too. Oh yeah, no, like it handles the light a lot better.
Yeah, so I don't know if you're in the mood to spend money or anything, but the microphone I'm talking into right now, which came with the stand and the headphones I'm wearing, was $100.
Okay. I wouldn't be able to buy that right now, but I can do that in like the future.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, there. That actually should.
I'm really annoyed I spent $20 on a camera stand and then I got another monitor which serves as a better camera stand. Because I bought one of those like posable stands and it's kind of shaky. Like if I shake the desk, it wobbles. And then when I got this monitor, I just attached it to the top and I was like, oh, wait, this is actually better.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that sounds like when I buy shit for my bike and I realized I could just do something else.
Yeah, I mean, it was only $20 and my mom can use it, so it's not that big a deal. But
yeah, gonna get some use.
I'm really glad that didn't display my entire credit card number.
That's...
Did not think of that till I opened the thing. I have three. God damn it! I'm fucking stupid. I have 3 monitors. I could have just opened it on the one the camera can't see. God damn it!
Nice.
Yeah, see, you can move it on and off.
Look at little puppy.
Yeah, at some point when I'm rich, I will actually replace the laptop I'm using with a proper PC. But for the moment, I'm using my laptop.
Man, when I'm rich, I'll replace my laptop with a secretary.
Knowing you, it'll be a secretary.
Listen, there's like, you ever seen Powerpuff Girls?
Not in a while, but yes.
That's the energy.
Okay.
That I'm one lady that no one can see.
All right. Wait, hang on. I actually realized something else we should test. Steve Areno, I'm going to play a video and I want you to tell us in the comments how it sounds. What?
Dude, it's just Steve Areno, like, are you like a 40-year-old man in Las Vegas, dude?
Oh, I'm referencing American Dad, but
Oh, that's even better.
hang on. Don't talk for a second. Let him tell us if it sounds good. By the way, Nick, can you hear that?
No.
Okay. You can hear me though, so that's why is that? Share screen. Here, let me try this. Can you hear it now?
Nope.
Okay. Why does that? Huh. What about you, Steve-O? Can you hear it? You don't hear anything. Okay. How in God's name and nutsack do I make that happen then? No, I don't want. I don't know why you took that screenshot. Thank you. I didn't need that. Okay. How does this work? Settings. Audio. No, that does not.
I name it Secretariat.
What would you say?
If I had a racing horse, I'd name it Secretariat.
Oh, that'd be a good one. Remember when Carly Fiorina said in the Republican debate in 2015 that she wanted that to be a presidential code name if she was president?
Secretariat.
Yeah, which is funny because she looks like a fucking horse.
I mean,
and it's also funny because she's never going to be president.
Listen, I'm all for horse-faced women. I'm not for horse-faced women leading me.
Well, she's a piece of shit for other reasons, so don't worry.
Oh yeah, no. Like it's not. One thing doesn't necessarily make the other. It just happens to blend perfectly.
Share screen. Okay. Wait, hang on. Share screen. Click Chrome tab at the top. Select your music tab. Oh, okay. Wait a tick.
Waiting a tick.
Share screen. I know. Thank you. Don't ever show me this bullshit again. Follow these steps to share a video with audio. Oh, wait, you just showed me that, cunt. Fuck you.
Sam.
You fucking bitch. Okay. No, that's not what I want. I want this one. Okay. And then how do I... Your entire screen. Application window. What the fuck was that noise?
I didn't hear anything.
Oh, okay. Maybe my mic's not sensitive enough. There was like a car horn outside. It keeps saying Chrome tab, so I guess I just have to do it on Chrome.
That makes sense.
Everything is Chrome in the future. Oh, yeah, I forgot. StreamYard doesn't like fucking Safari for some reason.
Oh, who does like Safari? It's Safari.
Well, I just use Safari because it's like the default on my laptop, and I was like, good enough. DFF, it's always capitalism. I love using this short to test the audio. Okay. May you be blessed.
Thank you.
List of tips appears. What the fuck is this bullshit? Why are you not showing what I want you to? You cunt.
Let me ask my crystal ball.
Here.
Is it helping?
Okay. That, yes, it is. Thank you, Nick.
Nice.
So that's what I need to do. Click share screen. Chrome tab. Oh, yeah, here we go. Screen sharing with audio is only supported on Chrome.
Okay.
All right, so let's try this again. Steve-O and Nico, let me know how this sounds-o.
Down 20%. The woke mind virus is making Netflix unwatchable. 251.7 thousand morons.
That makes no sense. That makes no sense. Because there's all kinds of content on Netflix. It's just like
there's plenty of fucking conservative shit. It's like all over the fucking ideological spectrum. Because you know what? Netflix does not have a political agenda. None of these fucking companies give a flying fuck about being woke or whatever. If they can
They have a
sell
money
shit to
agenda.
woke people, they'll do it. If they could sell shit to people who are like, fuck all this woke bullshit, they'll do that too. They don't have any fucking preference. You know what they are? They're whores for your money. That's all they fucking want. They don't give a fuck about your social values. If fucking 70% of the population tomorrow was like, let's kill all the Mexicans, Netflix would have like Steve Smith, Mexican Hunter, on their fucking programming. They wouldn't give a
I watch that right
flying
now.
motherfuck about it.
get him, shoot him.
They don't give a shit. Are you fucking stupid? The only mind virus here is your insistence that there's some fucking thing deeper going on than just money. It's like you guys will do anything to not confront that this is a problem of capitalism. It's always fucking capitalism. Every week they trot a new fucking monster out, and Scoob and the gang are like, who could it be? It's the fucking screaming banshee. No, stupid! It's the fucking janitor. It's the second motherfucker they met. Ah! It's not a monster.
I watch
It's just
this
your
clip
own
all the
fucking
time.
greed and avarice and bullshit coming back to eat you like the Ouroboros, the serpent forever consuming its own tail. You stupid fucking idiots.
So that sounded good, right?
That man looks like he braids his beard. But yeah, that sounded good.
He does, yes. Yeah, I don't think StreamYard lets you do this, but Streamlabs does, which is one of the only things that I like better about Streamlabs. They let you make your own donation sounds.
I
So
still
what-
think that guy looks
What?
like what a doof is. I'm sorry, go on.
So Streamlabs lets you make your own donation sounds. So when I was trying to get this to work on Streamlabs, I made him screaming, "It's always fucking capitalism," the donation sound.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed I can't do that on StreamYard, but they'll probably add it to a later version of it.
True. I mean,
Right.
there's that. There's I think a good one was just Dave Chappelle. I'm rich, bitch.
Yeah, I love Dave Chappelle's stuff from that era, but he has fucking poisoned his own goodwill. So,
I don't understand completely.
like,
What's
what
going on?
happened?
Yeah.
He's just... So Dave Chappelle has this problem, and you see it a little bit in the Chappelle Show, but you see it way worse now. When it comes to civil rights issues that aren't related to race, he's pretty consistently like 10 to 15 years behind the times. And the symptom of that is really obvious in the last few years is he's gotten pretty transphobic. Like, uncomfortably so.
Like I didn't like what is the last thing he said that was super transphobic? 'Cause I just like the last thing that I remember was when he was doing the fucking stand up about the alphabet people.
Yeah, there's that stuff. And like that could stuff like that that's minor enough could be attributed to just, oh, he's just poking fun. But this is definitely not his most recent thing, but it's the thing I'm thinking of. he somewhat proudly proclaimed himself as being, quote, "I'm on Team Turf."
Oh yeah, I thought he was just being heavily sarcastic.
Nah, he seemed to really mean that shit. In a way I did not like.
True.
But he also just, he's been somewhat. He's not like a hardcore J.K. Rowling defender, but he's been kind of passively defensive of her. And I don't know, he kind of, not with a lot of people, but with people of our political ilk, he kind of poisoned his own goodwill by being this way.
Like, do you think he's old school trolling?
That's possible, I suppose. But that's also just like, that's not really right, dude.
I mean, I'm not sure to this day. Like, do you think that like entertainers have an obligation to present how do I put this? Like a a personality that's not a fucking villain? Because I don't know. Like, I don't think anyone knows. I don't think Dave Chappelle's actually putting himself out there. I think he's always just doing character bits.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm like, he hasn't gone far enough that I'm like, I think he should lose his fucking platform or any of that shit. Like, he hasn't gone the full hateful route, but he's gone the route where, like, I don't really like him very much anymore.
I can dig that. No, I totally dig that. I just feel like he's always been so like, I mean, half his jokes are just questioning. Like, I mean, like, he had that whole super long bit about how it was really easy to get Comedy Central to let him say nigga, but it was really hard to get him to say midget.
Yeah, it's kind of
Like,
I don't know.
like,
He has that same thing that South Park has.
exactly. I'm not
Where-
at this point. I'm not sure anymore.
Yeah, he kind of has that thing of like his thesis seems to be that like caring about things is lame.
See, I thought the thesis was you can't take everything 100% seriously. Like, even things you take seriously, you have to kind of laugh at.
That's true, and I definitely agree with that sentiment. But and South Park is usually pretty good about striking the balance. But every now and then they slip past, you need to poke fun at yourself, and they slip into like, you care about things? What are you, gay?
You are totally right. I guess I can't give Dave Chappelle this allowance, but I'll give South Park the allowance of they called themselves out for it though.
Actually,
I will forever give them so much goodwill for how they treated Al Gore.
hang on 1 second. I'm going to move this guard away from my mic, and can you both tell me if I sound better or worse that way?
All right.
All right. Do I sound better or worse? I can keep talking if you want me to. Like, I can
It's
go
like
on about.
louder, a little bit unfiltered, I guess. I don't know if it's better.
Okay. What do you think, Stephen Krayshaw? That's not how you pronounce either of those things, despite what people.
I
are trying to
know.
tell
No,
me.
I know.
I don't know what it is about the last name Crawshaw, but nobody can pronounce the fucking thing.
It's everyone is thinking of Crenshaw
Exactly.
or crawfish or like other things. Like it sounds so much like the two syllables rhyme and sound like each other. So it's like it feels like you're messing it up.
Yeah, exactly. Like I've gotten sounds fine and a little louder. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you. Like I've gotten Crenshaw is the one I get all the time. I've gotten Cranshaw on occasion. Once or twice I've gotten like Krayshaw.
Krayshawn?
No, but
Or-
like Crae Shaw.
Oh jeez.
This isn't a last name
Craig,
thing,
no.
but as I'm sure my dad will tell you in the chat, one time he said Stephen with a PH over the phone, and whoever mailed him the thing wrote Fiefin Crawshaw. I'm assuming English was not that person's first language.
As in like Pfizer? Like
Well, yeah, Pfizer spelled with a PF though. No, this was PHEPHEN. I think it was pretty amusing. We still call him Fiefin from time to time. All right. Well, it is good to know that most of this shit works pretty well. I'm still trying to find a camera. I really don't want to spend several $100s to buy one. I can if I really have to, but I really don't want to.
Who wants to?
In woodshop in 9th grade, they called me Scrimshaw. Yeah, at least that one's mildly a pun, though. I mean, it's dumb, but at least it's mildly a pun.
Like that's kind of a cool nickname, though.
Yeah. What
Like,
did you
okay,
say it meant in Old English, like bricklayer or something?
Isn't that kind of writing?
Maybe. I don't know. Apparently, in like old English, the word crawshaw does actually refer to some profession.
So it's engraving on ivory.
That tracks. Oh, wait, that means my ancestors were dicks.
I mean,
Yeah.
no.
All our
no.
ancestors were
Fuck whales
dicks.
and fuck dolphins. Fuck whales.
I like whales. They're cute.
They're evil. They rape people.
That is true. You remember that whole story about that woman who like was convinced she could teach a dolphin to speak English? So she was like living with the dolphin and caring for the dolphin, and I guess jerked the dolphin off at some point.
Yeah, that was the big thing she was doing.
I knew you were. I knew you knew the story. Woodsman. That's what it means. Thank you. Yeah, the stream is a little bit behind, so answers to questions from chat will take a tiny bit of time, but you know that happens.
That's all right. That's all right. It gives us a chance to
Yeah.
think for a moment.
We primarily do this show live, not for the audience interaction, but because that way we can double dip on finances.
True. Don't get me wrong. We do love interacting with the audience, but we'll be slow with it.
Well, yeah, that's true. Because yeah, when you do something live, you can get donations during it, and then you can post the edited like into clips version later and double dip and get money from that too. Especially because it's not impossible that YouTube demonetizes the stream itself for, you know, swearing or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know if YouTube will let us monetize me saying a bunch of hate speech.
Yeah, it might be wise to not do that.
Nah, bro, but I fucking hate Burger King.
That's true. Okay, fair enough.
Like, see, I hate it.
Before I end this stream and go talk to my dad and see how, like, get a detailed synopsis, you ever heard? I'll tell you the same story I told him the other day. So I'm reading the really early Judge Dredd comics right now.
Oh God.
Like the ones, like the complete case files, which goes all the way back to 1977, which is when the character was introduced.
Jesus.
Yeah, and they're pretty entertaining. Like it's. I like that they kept all the weirdness because you know they hadn't fully established the character yet. I like that they kept the weirdness intact. So there's like little spelling errors sometimes, or like his character design took a little while to be consistent, and
That's nice. I like that.
some of the lore details hadn't been worked out yet. So anyway, it's pretty entertaining. But I just started the second volume of Complete Case Files, and that opens with their first big like year-long epic story, which was called Cursed Earth.
Okay.
And it's about Dredd having to like travel the atomic nuclear radioactive wasteland of the middle of the US to the West Coast to deliver a vaccine and all that shit.
That sounds sick.
Yeah, it is cool. I'm like a couple chapters in, but there's a couple chapters later on that are missing. Like in this collection, it jumps straight from issue 10 to issue 13.
The fuck?
And I was like, I wonder why that is. So I look, and I know that they sell another volume called Cursed Earth Uncensored. So I was like, all right. Well, not hate speech. It's related to the other thing you said. So Judge Dredd's always been really satirical. And they had these characters in, what do you call, in those chapters who are just like extremely thinly veiled parodies of fast food mascots. Like there's literally a character, like it's like a Mad Max type wasteland, and there's literally like a fucking warlord called the Burger King, who bears more than a passing resemblance to the Burger King mascot.
Yo.
So,
Damn, they're
It's
wearing
mostly
art and
parodying
everything.
McDonald's and Burger King, and there's like a so there's a few others in there who were like then popular restaurants that have since fallen into obscurity in the 50 years in the interim. But so McDonald's and Burger King were fucking furious. And they Britain, because these comics are from Britain doesn't have the same exact First Amendment clauses that we do.
Oh.
So they actually filed I think they didn't file a lawsuit, but it was like a cease and desist or whatever the equivalent is, saying you can't republish these comics. So when they published this collection in like 2006 or 7 or whatever, they had to leave those out. But lucky for us, in 2014, the law got altered to be more like our First Amendment, including the fact that parody is now considered fair use.
Nice.
So now they are allowed to publish it. So that's why as soon as they could, they published a separate volume called Cursed Earth Uncensored, which has the banned chapters in it and also is like colorized and like remastered and other stuff.
Nice.
So I might buy Cursed Earth Uncensored, but since it's only like 4 chapters, I might just find one of those perfectly legal comics reading websites and read them there. But
I know,
early Judge Dredds are cool.
it's important to buy and support things legally, but it's also important to have clear access to it. Otherwise, I'm not going to pay $100 for a Game Boy cartridge, you know?
Yeah, that is the thing. So, in order to get decent copies, and I want them to all be consistent because, there's US and British editions and everything. So I buy these things from the official 2000 AD website. Which is really cool that they still offer that. I thought these things were out of print. I'm like, the only problem is that because they're shipped from England, you have to pay international shipping costs.
Ooh.
Which is a lot of money if you only buy one book, but it only goes up a tiny bit with each volume you add. So in order to be cost effective, you got to buy like 4 or 5 volumes at once.
That's me buying gems from overseas. I know that struggle.
Yeah. Well, I looked up there and I was like, I'll buy volume 1. And then I realized that the cost was literally double because of the shipping. So then as an experiment, I added volumes 2, 3, and 4 to the bulk order, and it only went up by an additional like $6.
So weird.
Yeah, it's whatever. I'm willing to pay extra, especially when I'm buying like a bunch of volumes at once, because there's, I think, 41 volumes of this and counting. Because they're still publishing Judge Dredd every week or every month or however often 2000 AD comes out.
Really?
Yeah, they still make Judge Dredd stories like today.
I did not know that.
And unlike most comic books, time passes in real time in the Judge Dredd comics.
So how many years has Judge Dredd been Judge Dredd now?
In universe, God, probably 65. Because he's not a rookie when we meet him. Like when we meet him in the first issue, he's been a judge for like 15, 20 years already. Maybe as little as 10 if we're being like conservative with our estimates. So because of like sci-fi bullshit technology, he hasn't physically aged that many years, obviously. But so the first issues came out in 1977 and they're set in 2099. So any Judge Dredd story you read can generally be safely assumed to take place 122 years after whenever it was written.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so like you can pick up a story and as long as you know the publication date, you can generally, with the exception of like flashback stories and everything, you can generally calculate what year it takes place in just by adding 122.
That's fun.
Yeah, they're good series. It's pretty charming to read sci-fi that takes place at the dawn of the 22nd century and have the Soviet Union still exist. They gambled that one wrong, didn't they?
Oh, man. They
There's
either
also
gambled it wrong or they took a really deep gamble and gambled it right.
There's a pretty amusing scene because like the comics are much more explicitly sci-fi than the movie adaptations have been. Like they have robots and aliens and all that shit.
Sure.
So somewhere in one of the early comics, the chief judge says, because Judge Dredd is saying, given these robots' personalities and free will and everything is going to be a problem eventually. And turns out he was right. But the chief judge says, yeah, but what other option do we have? So much of labor is automated now. The people would revolt if we asked them to work more than 10 hours a week.
More than 10 hours a week?
Yeah, my comment was, man, dystopian sci-fi had such high hopes for the future.
Dystopian sci-fi was great. Like, I remember back when sci-fi writers were like, yeah, it's gonna be absolutely terrible. You guys just gonna have to hang out and get butlered, and all you're gonna have to do is just get intoxicated and pursue art all day. It's gonna be fucking terrible.
So that's the thing, is Judge Dredd has a world where, like, I don't remember the percentage, but like most of the populace, the concept of a job is somewhat foreign to them. Or at least like what used to be the working class. Like the middle and upper classes still have careers, but like a lot of the people who would have been working class in the past just don't work now. And that's part of why crime is so fucked up, because there was nothing to fill the gap, so they have nothing to do. They have no fulfillment in their lives, no like strong friendships. Yeah, so it's also implied that whatever UBI exists is not very sufficient, because like poverty is still very much a thing in this future.
But
I don't know. They're entertaining stories.
About no jobs, and then you just get me all depressed with crime.
Yeah.
I had
what's actually funny is, because given like the parodies I'd seen of Judge Dredd, I expected him to be much more like of a ruthless hard ass.
Yeah.
But he's pretty, especially in these early comics, he's pretty well rounded.
Really?
Yeah, like I didn't realize this. Under the judge system, there is no death penalty.
Isn't Judge Dredd shooting people?
Well, yeah, so people get killed in fights and like while being captured all the time. But like when he captures someone alive, which is very often in these early comics, it very often ends with him arresting the bad guy. There's no such thing as a death penalty in their system.
So as long as he catches you, you're surviving.
Yeah, I mean, you might wish you didn't, given some of the fucking penal colonies you'll be shipped off to, but...
What is worse at that point? Shit.
Yeah, so it depends, because it depends on the infraction, too. So, like, there are some minor infractions that are just covered with, like, a fine or a short prison sentence, and then there's others where you get, like, a lifetime of hard labor on a fucking moon.
Internment camps are not fun.
The other thing is that the legal penalty for a judge breaking the law is much stricter than that of an ordinary citizen.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. It's like how cops should be fucking punished harder.
Yeah. So actually, part of Judge's whole backstory is that he had a brother, Rico, who, in fact, he was top of the class. Dredd was number 2 in the class. But Rico became a corrupt judge. Like, he started taking bribes and killing people and shit. And so Dredd reluctantly had to turn in his own brother. And because he's a corrupt judge, he was sentenced to 20 years of hard labor on, I think, the moon of Titan.
What the fuck?
Yeah, because this is sci-fi, so they've colonized like huge parts of the solar system.
Yeah, they're just sending you to Jupiter?
Saturn, technically, but yeah.
Wait, Titan's a moon of Saturn?
I believe so. I might be wrong. But so yeah, anyway, because the atmosphere, what passes for an atmosphere on Titan is not really the same as Earth, they had to like cybernetically modify him to withstand the conditions.
Oh God, what is that even like?
Like they did like genetic engineering to alter his cells to be able to breathe the limited oxygen, and his like mouth and nose are like fused shut, and he has a fucking voice box and shit. Like it's actually fucked up.
Okay, I mean, I don't know if advocating that there's not death really matters anymore if you're doing that to dudes.
Well, yeah, Judge Dredd is a dystopian future for a reason. I mean, Dredd himself is kind of a fascist. What makes him the protagonist is one, he's way less bad than his enemies. And
he's
two,
he's the less of two evils.
yeah, and two, he's a true believer in the system. Like that's the thing is he doesn't like he's not like real fascists where they look the other way when someone inconvenient does something that they're not supposed to. Like he'll go after you whether you're a billionaire or a homeless person.
And
So
then
like
he'll just-
yeah, like while his ethics are kind of fucked up, like all right, at least he actually believes in something and that puts him ahead of many of the enemies.
like you have a point, but still. Oh, also, I believe this counts as Scrimshaw.
That makes sense. Yeah, I haven't read this far yet, but apparently later in the series, he actually puts his own career at risk by having them do a mega citywide referendum to decide whether or not to bring democracy back.
Fuck democracy.
Well, ultimately, the status quo remains in effect because most people are young enough they don't remember what democracy is and or don't care. So the few people who bother to vote just vote to keep things the way they are.
Classic.
But the point is that at least Dredd decides at some point the people deserve to vote on whether or not this system is right for them. And they do ultimately. So he's like, all right, guess I still have a job.
Is this what you guys wanted?
Yeah, but like, all right, so Dredd at least believes in something. So even though his ethics are kind of fucked, you can kind of like forgive him.
I guess, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. There are even times where he like cuts people some slack. Like he's not really, not normally, but like there are times when like someone does something mildly illegal, but like because they helped him catch the bad guy, he's willing to issue them a pardon or whatever. So he's not a complete psycho.
He can just pardon anything he wants.
Well, I don't know about a pardon specifically. This is more the case of like, I'm not gonna log what I just watched you do.
Damn, he does that?
Yeah, though he has a lot of influence. So like the Cursed Earth storyline that I just started, because it's on bikes, like on motorcycles going across the country, he needs the best biker in the business. So he does like a special requisition to get one of his old enemies out of prison because his old enemy is like a biker or whatever. And he promises the guy a full pardon if he helps him. So I'm assuming he has the authority to, if not grant that unilaterally, then at least he has enough influence to make it happen.
Okay.
Yeah, because he's not chief judge, but he's like very well respected. I heard somewhere online that he gets offered the role of chief judge eventually, but he turns it down because he wants to still be on the street.
He just wants to stay on the street. Why does every cop story end up with someone getting offered a job? They're like, no, I want to stay on the street.
Yeah,
chief."
well, Dredd comics, even as early as these ones, are definitely like parodying American cop movies.
Okay. Okay, so it knows what it's doing at least.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been satirical, but what it satirizes changes with time. So, like, the really early ones are primarily just parodying, like, cop movies. And then as they get, like, 6 or so months in, they start getting more political. Like, their first recurring storyline was that of a robot revolution.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Which ultimately fails, but it makes them start to reconsider the legal status of robots, which I think becomes a recurring thing as the series goes on. But yeah, it's a cool. The whole reason I wanted to read these is because I rewatched the 2012 movie like last year, and I was like, God damn, I forgot how fucking good this movie is.
Which one was that one?
It was just called Dredd.
Yes, I like that one.
Yeah. I have not seen the 90s one, but it's on my list. I've heard it sucks mostly. I've heard it has like 1 or 2 redeeming qualities, but mostly sucks. But one of my favorite lines in the 2012 one is the whole opening scene with the fight in the airport and like all these fucking bodies and there's just blood all over the place. And you hear the little intercom say, this section of the airport will be reopened in 47 minutes. She's like, damn, people are so numb to fucking violence in this world.
That's a fun. I mean, people are numb to violence in this world. The fuck you mean?
Well, yeah, but at least in this world, if there was a gunfight in a section of the airport would probably be closed for a few weeks. Of course, it also helps that under this legal system, you don't have to spend all that time gathering evidence. Like,
is the airport in Chicago?
Well, Mega City 1 does not include Chicago. Mega City 1 is basically the whole East Coast.
Just okay, so this might sound dumb. Why even call it Mega City? Because isn't it just a city at that point?
Well, it is, but it's a city stretching all the way from like Maine to Florida.
Sure, but for the people in this world, that's all a city is.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Okay.
So
Like,
technically,
wait,
the very first issue refers to it as taking place in New York, but then the next issue mentions New York, part of 2099's Mega City 1. So they kind of caught their own mistake.
Okay, then that explains it. They're like, yeah, we almost goofed up here, but we brought it back. We brought it back.
Yeah, I mean so I'm not very far in. I only know what I've read and like what I've picked up from the internet, but Mega City 2 is like the whole West Coast. And that's the whole thing. What?
So like, what is the middle of the country?
So that's the thing. So they Mega City 2 has this plague going on, and the whole plot is Judge Dredd needs to get a vaccine to Mega City 2. But for plot reasons, they can't just fly it over, so he has to cross on land.
Oh God.
And I don't know how much of the U.S. is a radioactive wasteland, but like, I think most of the middle of the country has just been destroyed by the nuclear wars.
Sounds like Texas, all right.
Yeah, well, they mentioned a Mega City 3, but we haven't been there yet, and they didn't mention where it is.
Hawaii.
Maybe. The other countries have their own like judge systems and megacities and everything. Like we got to briefly meet the Soviet judges, and they just look exactly the same, but they have a little hammer and sickle patch on their helmets.
Oh, so it's like the thing they do with Captain America, where they're just like recolor Captain Soviet.
Yeah, like the helmet is maybe a slightly different shape. I don't know.
It I like to think about Mortal Kombat when I see characters like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, we have a fire ninja.
I always weirdly think of the Revenge of the Sith tie-in game.
Did they do the same thing with that?
Kind of, because they have like the bonus mode where you can fight, and if you choose the same character, one of you will look different. So like if you have two Obi-Wans, one of them just looks like Obi-Wan from Revenge of the Sith, and then the other will look like Obi-Wan, but like he has an additional robe on and he has a green lightsaber instead of blue.
Yeah.
Or like they had the Grievous with the 4 red sabers.
What? So Grievous gets his sabers from the Jedi he kills, and that's why he has them, right?
Yeah, the fighting mode isn't really like canon. They just needed to tweak.
Oh yeah, no, sure. But
I'm
like,
trying to remember if they had Darth Vader in that game.
where do they get the red kyber crystals?
I'll explain that in a second. Video game have Darth Vader. Because I know it had Anakin. Maybe not. So I'll explain this and then I should hang up because I have to go like piss and find out what I'm eating for dinner. But
Yeah.
so in the old Star Wars EU, the one they call Legends now, but I don't really like calling it that, red kyber crystals were just synthetic.
Oh.
Like you could make synthetic crystals, like you could forge them.
Oh, so that's where the Sith are getting them. They're just making them in their backyards.
Yeah. In fact, not that it was red, but in the original version of like Luke's green lightsaber from Return of the Jedi, that was also a synthetic crystal that he like forged himself.
Like, what do they make it from?
I forget. They explained it at some point, but I'm not quite autistic enough to remember.
You mean you actually have like things going on? Good.
Yeah. When I was like 13, I probably could have told you the answer off the top of my head, but
I could tell you the schematics of the USS Enterprise. Like,
yeah, so like yeah, they had a whole thing in one of the books of Luke like sitting in Obi-Wan's old hut, like forging it in an oven using instructions from Obi-Wan's journals and everything.
he's just got it written down like a fucking recipe.
Yeah, because Obi-Wan, he has like a whole book that he left for Luke with like a lot of the basics of Jedi technique and everything. And one of the things he included was how to forge your own kyber crystal, because the way he used to do it, going on a pilgrimage to Ilum, he didn't think would be available to Luke.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would have just blown up that planet if I had any sense.
Yeah. So, well, actually, so in the new continuity, Ilum eventually becomes Starkiller Base.
Oh.
In fact, you haven't played Jedi Fallen Order, have you?
No.
It's a good game. You should. There's a level where you go to Ilum, and when they have the establishing shot of Ilum as your ship is flying toward it, it has a ring of something metal, like just barely the skeleton of a metal ring around the planet, which never used to be there before. A metal ring that looks quite a bit like the one on Starkiller Base.
No shit.
Yeah. So anyway, in the new continuity, the way that you get a red kyber crystal is basically by doing a procedure called bleeding, which is you take a lightsaber crystal and you basically use the dark side to like torture it.
Fuck out that crystal.
Yeah. You can eventually, or some Jedi can learn to like purify it after the fact. So that's why, you know, Ahsoka from like Clone Wars,
Yeah.
and that's why her lightsabers are white. They explain that in a book I have. She, one of the books I have is like her following Revenge of the Sith, being hunted by Inquisitors and shit.
True.
And so at the end of the book, she successfully like saves the town and kills the Inquisitor. And she has his lightsaber afterwards, and she kind of decides to like recommit herself to the Force. So she takes the 2 red crystals from his double-bladed lightsaber and like does a ritual to purify them, and they turn white. And then she builds herself 2 new lightsabers using those crystals.
So they took Mormonism and they put it into kyber crystals.
Yes, except unlike Mormonism, I could believe this.
Listen, if you purify the reds, you get the whites. But if you corrupt the whites, you get the reds. This is Mormonism.
Did you ever watch Bill Maher's documentary Religulous?
No.
It's
religious.
It was amusing when I was young. I doubt I'd be amused by it now, especially because he kind of gets some of the facts wrong. But there's a section where he's talking about Mormons, and I'm sure you know about the thing with Mormons and how they thought that like dark skin was a curse from God and all that shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
I used to get drunk and argue with Mormons online.
So there's this scene, by the way, it's documentaries from like 2008 for the record, and you'll find out why that matters in a second. So he's reading this little section. I don't remember if it was from the Book of Mormon. No, different thing. A certain person they reference who was still alive back then.
Oh.
So he's reading the thing, and he reads a passage that says, "Dark skin is a curse from God. However, if a dark-skinned man is especially noble, he can redeem himself in the eyes of God and become a light-skinned man." And as he reads this, in the 4 corners of the screen, 4 pictures pop up. Michael Jackson circa 1983, Michael Jackson circa 1990, Michael Jackson circa 1995, and Michael Jackson circa the then present of 2008.
Nice. Yes, fucking Beligo.
Yeah, it's
y'all are fucking medicines. He has a disease.
Yeah, I know.
Oh no, it's hilarious. Oh my, I just think it's funny.
Yeah, it was much more socially acceptable to make fun of that in 2008.
I think it's still cool to make fun of Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, he was a possible pedophile, so I'm not taking it personally.
Wow. I just uncovered a buried memory.
What?
Just kids in elementary school going, I pledge allegiance to the flag. Michael Jackson is we're still alive. Like what? Why was that a normal thing we said as children? What?
You speak for your fucking self, motherfucker. I didn't say that as a child.
No, we as in like me. We as in like a fucking collective age group.
I don't know. I should go check on my mom because I think she's finally off her Zoom. So I'm gonna hang up. But this
True.
broadcast was
This was nice.
yeah, this was very useful, and I will definitely have to think very hard about how to get a camera so we can start this shit.
Yo, I'm ready, Team Venture. I'm ready.
All right. All right.
All right,
have-
take care of your dick, boy.
I hope you know that that was not just a thing I made up, and that's from a thing I watched.
That's all right. That's
Okay.
all right.
Well, take care of your dick because it's gonna leak.
What?
I know.
No.
Bye, our one viewer.
Bye, one viewer. Thank you for listening. This has been Uncle Ruckus. No relation.